know that when you have a purpose and a calling on your life, there's nothing that nobody, and nothing can happen. I am Angela C. Wright.
Over the top, the gotcha.
He said your numbers has shrunk. He said, I don't know how, why.
You're not gonna get you're gonna have to have mounds of security for me because you're not gonna get me.
If I wasn't depressed and going through what I was going through, I probably would have never started.
And this episode was brought to you by the Ayers Agency, a full-service marketing firm noted in entertainment and culture. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another great episode of Break Free Podcast. I'm overly excited today because I have my brother here with me. Y'all say hello to my brother, Mr. Lawson.
How y'all doing?
What's up with you, bro?
I'm doing all right.
Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for inviting me.
Man, how long? Well, this is not my brother by blood, but we've been friends for over 30 years.
At
least 30 years? Yeah.
About 30 years, yeah.
Yeah.
Make me feel old.
Y'all, we've been through down there. We done had some days. So I thank you for coming through to raise awareness this month. We in, National Autism Month. And just, I just want you to help educate and encourage a mom or dad who's out there who's going through, who has an autistic child. So, Junior, when did you recognize like the signs or you knew something was wrong?
It's funny. We found out, or I figured out Junior was autistic or something was off probably when he was like 1.5, almost two. I was playing with him one day in the basement of our house, and I just noticed he didn't really make direct eye contact. And I took my finger and I went like all the way to his eyeball, and he didn't move, he didn't flinch or anything. And I was just like, that's just odd, you know what I mean? So I told his mom, and then his speech regressed. Like when he was a year, he would say mom, he would say dad, little things like that. But as he started getting older, his speech kind of stopped. So we were worried about that. And I trace it back to when he took the MMR shot. He got his mumps, measles, and rubella shot. Immediately when we left the doctor, his leg was swollen. His leg swollen. So he had some kind of reaction to it at that point. But this is, 2000, 2001. We didn't know. We took him to the doctor. They said, it was a normal reaction from the shot sometime. Put a warm compress on it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
A couple of days went by, the swelling went down, but he was never the same.
So you feel like the shot had something to do?
Yeah, I feel like definitely the shot had something to do with it. I don't know if it made a chemical imbalance in him. I don't know what exactly it did to him, but it definitely affected him, and that's definitely like when we saw the change. Like that's when the speech started to regress and different things like that. He started to kind of running back and forth and all of that. Like before that, I didn't detect anything abnormal.
Yeah. And then has autism run in your family or in his mom's family?
No. I don't know of anyone in my family that's autistic before or after. And she has a small family. There actually aren't any other kids. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, don't run in the family.
Wow. And then so after you noticed that with the shot and everything, and when did you say something to the doctor like something's off?
When he was around 2.5, I think. And we sprung into action, To my son's mom credit, she jumped right in full force behind it. We started getting speech and OT at the house.
Say what OT is, because somebody might not know.
Occupational therapy. He started getting occupational therapy and speech at about 2.5 years old. Because, and what really pushed it, we had him in daycare. He turned 2 at daycare, and he couldn't stay focused. They having circles, he getting up, running around. So it was a problem kind of at the school.
But what made y'all feel like something was off and not just, attributed? Because sometimes when kids can't stay focused in circle and group, we'll say they ADHD.
Mainly
they'll
the
want to put
speech.
them on. They'll want to put them on, Ritalin and stuff to
Right.
calm them down.
Well, we did no drugs until he was an adult, and what was the main thing was the speech, the lack of speech.
Okay.
He really was talking, and he was old by then, and so that's what was the impetus of us really getting out there and trying to find out what was going on. And I went everywhere. I went to New York, L.A., down to Florida, trying to find doctors to help him. But 20 years ago,
It wasn't as prevalent as it is today.
it wasn't as prevalent, and there was very little information. You found a lot of what I call crock doctors who peddle hope. You know what I mean? They know you'll do pretty much anything to try and help your child if you
Right.
can, and they just taking your money for real.
And it gets expensive, right? Because therapy, you had the occupational therapy, you had the speech therapist, and then once you find out about the diagnosis, you start having.
So, like I said, when we first found out, insurance wouldn't even pay for the therapies back then.
Yeah.
So they had a waiver that you could get that would help with some stuff, but we had to pay a lot of that out of pocket. But yeah, it got super expensive. The vitamins are crazy expensive.
There's certain type of vitamins that he has to take.
Yes, what we did and what really, really helped Junior when he got about 5 years old, we put him on a gluten-free, casein-free diet. That was life-changing for him.
Really?
It was life-changing for him. He went from not talking at all to he communicates now fully. He can fully communicate. He started to be able to function pretty much normally. He was able to function pretty much normally. Of course, he had his delays. He was still autistic, but he was definitely able to now go to school, follow along, even excel in school. Junior actually ended up graduating with honors in high school.
Yeah.
But it was a long road getting from there to there. And the main impediment for us was the public schools were underserviced. They didn't have the staffing or the resources to properly care for him. So when he was 5 years old, we took him out of public school. We found a school in, I guess that's Roswell. It was called Summit Learning Center. They helped him phenomenally. That's when he started ABA therapy.
Okay. And ABA, that's to help with the speech and to communicate and to be able to socialize. Right?
That's what ABA therapy is. And that, I don't know what we would have done without that. But it was extremely expensive.
Yeah.
It was costing me I guess he was 5 and around 07. I was paying like $3,000 a month in 2007. So that's cost prohibitive for most people. So one of the main things I've tried to do is always try every year help at least one underprivileged kid with autism have a chance to get some of those resources that people with means can have.
And Junior has an organization.
Yes.
Tell us about the organization.
Well, it's something his mom and I started 2019. It's called Bridges, and it's a nonprofit where we try and get services for underprivileged kids.
Yeah.
And it's been good. We've been able to send about one kid to school every year.
Oh, that's good.
And that's what I hope to continue and grow it as the program grow. Last year, you supported the T-shirts we did to raise money, and the sweatsuits to raise money for the foundation. And it's God's work, though.
Yeah.
It's truly God's work. And, the saddest thing that I have to tell any parent with autism that asks me about it is that it's a lifelong commitment. A lot of people get to, you raise a child till they're 18, they leave and going out the door. It's been harder as he's gotten older. As he got to be an adult, there's fewer services, fewer places to get therapy for adults with autism. Young adults. And it's been a struggle, even finding good programs. They're starting to catch up now. It's better at 22 than it was at 18 when he
Right.
first finished high school. So resources are catching up, but still far behind.
So resources are crucial.
Resources are crucial.
Yeah.
Resources are crucial, and just a lot of parents don't know where to find help. You know what I mean? There are resources. Autism, what is it? Autism Awareness is that group. They have a lot of resources on their website. There's another one. Why is the name escaping me right now? But they have a lot of lists of resources where you can find schools, find therapy, find different outlets, because they need socialization as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because a lot of autistic kids are not ostracized, but the nature of autism itself doesn't allow you to really socially bond with people and connect with people. So that's an important faction. And I try and get Junior out in public settings and let him be around people as much as I can.
Yeah, I know you. Every Saturday, y'all go to the barbershop together. Still now.
Right,
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, that's our thing. Every Saturday, what's a day? You know, we go to the barbershop, we find wherever he want to do lunch, and then we may do an activity or something. This weekend, we went to Andretti's and let him do the go-karts and stuff. You know, but the one good thing I'll say about autism, I feel like it's more painful for the parents than the kids. Because they're not necessarily aware of the things they're missing out on or what they not. Like, my son don't really know, you know, he should be out with his friends doing teenage things and young adult things. This is his life, and he's happy in it, actually. It's probably sadder for me to see him not being able to experience those things than it is him. So that's the one, you know, kind of comfort, is that he's not in pain and suffering from it.
Yeah.
You know?
Was there ever a time that, like, you went through, like, a depression stage, like watching Junior trying to develop and, you know?
I can remember one day specifically, like, brought me to tears. I had a convertible Jaguar, and I had picked him up from his school. And, you know, I just was trying to talk to him, just ask him about his day, just ask him, you know, how he doing, and he's staring off basically into outer space, and it's like, wow, I'm never gonna connect with him. Like, it's just, and you know, Junior is my only child, my namesake. You know, you born your son, you have a lot of hopes from a lot of dreams. I work in athletics. Junior was 6'3", 270. I wanted him to play sports, do those things. So, you know, it was often disappointing. And in the beginning, I probably was in denial for a long time.
Yeah, they say like a lot of parents will go through that stage of denial. Yeah. And is it because you feel like you want more for your child, or you just don't really want to accept, like, he's different?
For me, it was just tough to accept. You know, I felt like he gonna be okay. He can do this. Because he could do a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't accept his limitations. His mother had to be more the voice of reason, and I have to admit, for a while, I kind of like just checked out and threw money at the problem. You know what I mean? It was just hard for me to really dig into it and see my son like that. Like I said, that's my only child. So, you know, it cost us our marriage. You know what I mean?
It did? I didn't know that was the reason y'all divorced.
I mean,
you know what? Let's just stop 1 second. I'm not gonna believe that.
Nah,
You sure it wasn't you and your infidelities?
That led to that.
Oh,
though.
okay, okay.
That led to a lot of that, because I couldn't be inside the house. It was too painful for me. It was too hard for me to see all of that. It was struggle almost, you know? And then for her, and I'm glad she did, but her life became tunnel vision. It was just Junior.
Right.
Just Junior all the time, every day, all day, figuring out what to do. She probably read every book she could find. Travel, like she stopped doing her hair, stopped doing her face, you know, stopped really taking care of herself.
Really.
Yeah, she really did. She really stopped living. And for that, she's never worked a day in her life. Her life is dedicated to Junior. I have done whatever I could to make sure.
Oh, no, I know you still take care of him.
Yeah, I still take care of him
at
to this day.
School. Yeah.
You know, and not bare minimum. You know, I had them live to the same level that I live. You know, so if if anybody got to sacrifice, it's going to be sacrificing me. I make them over myself because she dedicated her life to my son.
Right.
And she still is. It's tough right now because he's 22 and, you know, puberty was hard on him. Before puberty, he was such a pleasant child. All the teachers loved him. They loved him at the school. He went through puberty and became like 16, 17. Junior got violent.
I remember one day you calling me.
Yeah.
We was supposed to go somewhere, and you called like, sis, I can't go. Junior, you know, we at the hospital, and my first words to you was, what triggered him?
Yeah.
Because I know Junior doesn't normally just act out for no reason. Yeah. You said, they said something about his headphones, that he broke his headphones.
I remember that day now.
Yeah.
And so that's part of so autistic kids are used to routine. Junior got a routine. He get up, he do his list, everything. Something go wrong, it's hard to redirect him.
Yeah.
If the Wi-Fi out and his device is not working, you got about 5 minutes before it's a problem. It's going to be a problem in about 5 minutes. So. And he's set the size, and his mom can't handle him.
Yeah.
Like, he's bigger than her, stronger than her, and, like, she can't handle him. So I have to constantly have a presence there, you know what I mean? So I FaceTime him in the morning when he get up. I talk to him, just, you know, see what the day, like, it's never ending, you know what I mean? And I really wouldn't change it because it made me better, you know? It made me a better person, a better father, a better man, to be honest with you, because you can't, it's never about yourself.
It's always about your child.
Always about your child.
Was there ever a time like you was embarrassed because Junior couldn't go running on the football field, or, you know, Junior couldn't do this, or?
You know, I can't honestly say I was ever embarrassed, but I wanted those things for him.
Yeah.
You know, and there is a lot of shame that go along with autism for parents, especially seem like black parents. Our community, for some reason, we shun things, or we try and act like they not real or it's not happening. And a lot of people don't get their kids the help they need because they, I guess, embarrassed or don't want to admit it, you know. And it's tough on your families.
Right.
It's tough on your families. It's hard for my mom. My mom don't live in the city, so it's hard for them to connect with him because he's not really going to call you. If you call him, he'll talk to you, but he's not reaching out, or he's not just going to keep making an effort or connect with you like that. You know, he will in his own way, but they don't know how to really approach him and really be there for him and be in his life. So, you know, even that's hard. You know, that's hard that he really just has his immediate family.
Right.
You know, so.
And what would you what would you say to parents, especially African-American parents who feel like there isn't a problem or don't want to accept the problem?
That is not about you. It's not about you, first of all. Go get your child tested. Go find out. At the first sign of any difficulties or any trouble, go find out exactly what it is. Get you a diagnosis. Because a lot of times, especially with autism, early intervention is paramount.
Yeah.
If you get on it early, then you can really help them. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying they're going to all of a sudden become, you know, a normal kid or average kid, but they can have a better quality of life.
Right.
And my son can do whatever he want to do, you know, and his mother's mothering probably holds him back a lot more than she's very, very protective of him. She always, you know, she don't want to let him fail or fall. I'm more like, let's throw him in the water and see if he gonna swim.
See if he gonna swim.
You know, she like, no, not her baby.
Not her baby, yeah.
And it's her only child, I get it. And so that's always been a struggle for me, like, how hard do I push on her about that? Because, you know, she the one there with him every day. She the one in the struggle with him. So I defer to her on a lot of that. But I'm blessed that he can live, you know, somewhat a normal life, you know. And we just hope the medical community and new things keep coming and that, you know, he'll have a great adult life. If not, I feel like I've got him set up for the future.
Yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. You know, you go hard. You know what I mean? For your family, for your friends. You take a lot, a lot of sacrifices and, everything. And I know sometimes it can feel like the whole entire world is just sitting on your two shoulders.
I mean, because it's a thankless job, and you don't ask for a pat on the back for raising your own kid or doing what you do, but it's hard. There are days she called me crying like, I need a break. I need a break. Can you come get Junior? Just come get him. And I understand, because he a man now, and he know he a man, and he know he.
If he got a little that little arrogance that his daddy got in him.
so he know he don't want her telling him what to do all the time.
Yeah.
So they clash now constantly. Mm-hmm. They're clashing, and he does it less with me, but he'll try me from time to time.
He will.
Very shortly for a very short moment. Until I talk to him like you do any other time, let him know, don't make me hurt you. But he's a great kid.
Yeah.
He's a great kid, and I love him to death. And, at this point, I just pray I live a long life and I'm there for him and she there for him as long as possible, until he really, really able to care for himself. Mm-hmm. That's what you want for your child, just the best quality of life possible.
Yes, and this episode was brought to you by the Ayers Agency, a full-service marketing firm noted in entertainment and culture. So, bro, did you ever think about, did y'all ever talk about having more kids, or did you just was like, no, I'm not going to do it?
I don't think we ever had the conversation, but I think we both were scared. I think going through the whole situation with Junior, just the unknown of the possibility of having two kids with a disability, it was frightening. It was too much. So I never had other kids. She never had other kids. And I don't think we ever really seriously considered it either. It was too much.
Have you ever apologized to her for the beginning days of just throwing the money at her and leaving her to do it?
I told her, just how grateful I am that she did that she didn't check out, that she didn't, take the route I did and be in denial, that she really just stuck it through. And I appreciate her so much for it.
Yeah.
Because even now, it's a much more of a burden on her than it is me. So, anytime she asks for a break or she want to do something, I sent her to Miami for her birthday this year. Last year, whatever she do, I try and support her and help her out as much as I can, because he's just as much my child as he is hers. But with my career and everything, I travel a lot. I'm not always around, and especially when he was little, when I was on the road trying to build a business and make sure I had the means to take care of them. The family, it probably was even harder on her.
That's what I'm
sure she felt alone a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How difficult, I know it was hard on her, but how hard was it for you, being a young black man and trying to build a successful agency?
One, it's a tough industry for black men to get into in the first place.
Right.
Especially when you're not an athlete already. Mm-hmm. It's a tough business to break into. Two, it's almost impossible to do it independent on your own. I was fortunate enough to start out at a really big agency. I got trained. I worked for Michael Jordan's agent coming out of college.
Oh, okay.
So I got the background and stuff put in early on. I went to Howard with Juwan Howard's brother. Mm-hmm. We became fast friends. He got me an internship with his agent, who was David Falk, Michael Jordan's agent, and that's how I got started in the business. One of my best friends growing up just so happened to be turning pro at the time, Takeo Spikes, and we were literally neighbors growing up. I got an opportunity to work with him early on. He was a first-round draft pick, Pro Bowler, had a great career. We were able to do a lot of work with him in his early days and kind of got me established. And from there, I came back to Atlanta and helped Jermaine and run So That Sports and kind of got my start in the business. But at the same time, I think I came back here to work for Jermaine. I'm in 2000. My son was born in 01. So I'm really trying to straddle the sports and entertainment world, and having a newborn kid.
With the fast money coming in.
All
the women. Can't leave that out.
Because I'm in an environment where you surrounded by it. Like at the time, Jermaine is huge. He's a huge star at that time. The city is open to him. We with him every day. Like, so you getting all the perks. You know what I mean? So we dealing with that. But on top of it, I moved my son's mom here when she was 4 months pregnant. And she didn't know anybody here. So it's like...
The way you like it, but go ahead.
But that was tough, too, though.
Yeah.
Because now she needs you. She don't even know where the grocery store is. You know what I mean? And she don't have any friend to call and help her with anything. She doesn't know anyone.
Yeah.
Hell,
it's cool.
I was outside like that. You never met my, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. All them years, all them days we was together. Well, y'all thought I was a dude. Y'all thought I was one of the homeboys
right,
anyway.
Exactly. Seeing this girly you is a lot different than the you I grew up with. Like, Shay was a tomboy. Like, Free was definitely a tomboy. Like, fly, super fly, but a tomboy.
Bruh, what about when I came home and you was like, man, sis.
Yeah. I'm like, she got body parts she didn't have when she left. I'm like, okay, Flea, you done glowed up.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so the life, I can imagine, like, it was tempting, all the women, all the money, and then, on the other hand, trying to provide a life for Junior and his mom, but, and then with juggling the sports world.
Yeah, that was another, and at that time I was really just trying to get established. I think I had my first round pick in the 02 draft. Junior was turning 1, so I was really in the midst of it, and I needed to put all my energy into the business so I would be able to take care of us. You know what I mean? And I his mom used to complain, well, you ain't never here, you on the road, you doing this. But I'm like, okay, but if I do this now, when he 10, 11, 12, I won't have to run as hard. I'll be able to put the time in. And it did work out like that.
Yeah.
But by that time, the marriage had suffered. The marriage had really, it took a toll on that. So back when I was saying, the autism led to it, it was a combination of things.
Yeah.
It was a combination of things, but definitely her having to carry so much of the burden with raising him at that time didn't help.
Yeah. And then so with the kids they not kids, they're men. But, the guys that you have, that you're that age and everything, you look at them as they're your kids.
Yeah.
Y'all are like family.
Especially as I've gotten older in the business, I was a very young agent at first. When I first got in business, I had my first round pick. I was 25. The kid was probably 22. I was 25. So I'm big brother in. You know? I'm dad now to these kids. A lot of them don't have fathers and father figures in their life, and so that role changed. But I definitely have taken many of these guys under my wing, like my own children, and raised them, housed them, try to teach them about money management, different things. So, you definitely have a familiar relationship with them.
Yeah, and how hard was it for you last year? How difficult was that last year with losing one of your kids?
Yeah, last year, one of my clients, probably my closest client at the time, Jalen Ferguson, passed away. He had a drug interaction with fentanyl. And he passed away at the age of 25, I think he was. He had she has 3 kids.
Wasn't she pregnant at the time or had just had a baby?
She had just had a baby.
Okay.
She had just had my god baby. So he made me the godfather for his daughter. And I lost, he passed away late June. Earlier June, I had lost my grandmother who raised me.
Right.
You know, she was my mother figure. She passed away early June, and he was the one calling, checking on me every day, making sure I was all right, you know, kind of taking care of me. And 3 weeks later, I get a call in the middle of the night telling me he dead. It was extremely hard. It was like losing one of my children. I had been with him since his sophomore year in college. You know, I saw him have all his kids, helped get them set up. You know, it was a tragedy, you know, to see a young man lose his life at such an early age with so much promise. He was a member of the Baltimore Ravens at the time, whole life ahead of him, and then trying to make sure his kids are taken care of now. You know, I administer his estate, making sure his kids have a trust fund, making sure they have an education fund, his mother's taken care of, that his partner at the time, that she's okay. You know, it's still ongoing.
Yeah,
you know.
it's on. Yeah, and I know too with your clients, you do try to, you know, help them if you recognize that they have a drug problem.
Yes, you know, we had him in rehab.
I remember
we
you
had
telling
him in
me.
rehab, actually on a couple of different occasions. But as you know, with all addicts or drugs, you have to, until they want to get off and get help and get themselves together, there's nothing really you could do. And the crazy thing, I had talked to him that day, and he told me he had passed 9 straight tests, that he had been clean for the last 9 weeks. But
So you thought everything was okay?
thought everything was okay, and he was finished the program that day. He was going home for the summer that next morning.
Wow.
And I guess he stopped by to see some, you know, guys that he hung with up there. They partied a little bit, and they said he, you know, did whatever, and got up and went to the bathroom, collapsed, and died.
And I know, you know, I feel like too that because you have also, you're not just like a nerd. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
It's a dual part to you.
Right.
So I feel like that helps too with the clients and the kids that you have because you're able to recognize BS,
Right.
recognize when they running game, and to give them some instruction like, no, dude, this is not, you know, you have a lot of friends that was in the streets and, you know, went the other way.
And I try and counsel them on that. I try and counsel them. I got a saying for the young kids, like, smart is the new gangster. Like, you want to be educated, dude. Like, you don't want to have to be in the streets. The streets end 2 ways for most people. Either years of their life taken away, incarcerated, that kills your promise and a lot of your hope and stuff for some people, you know, or you're going to end up dead.
Yeah.
And the way it's going today is more dead than even jail.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so I try and tell these kids, like, yes, you're from the streets, but you don't have to be street all the time no more. Like, go get you an education. Get you a trade if not that. You know, I feel like trades is the way to go for young people now.
Yeah.
Go and get you a skill that can't be taken from you.
Right.
You know, where you'll always be able to feed and take care of your family, you know.
Do you instill that into your athletes? Like,
do.
don't just depend on, even though you made it or you going, don't just depend on football?
Well, because the reason athletes get ripped off a lot, they like to start businesses, but they don't know anything about running a business or running that particular business. So I'm like, look, how about during the summer while you're young, go work in this business. Go be around this business, learn it, see how it works before you put your money into something. Because never invest in something you don't understand how you're making your money back. If it's a project, I don't care how good the numbers are, if you don't really understand it, don't do it. Because you have to have a base knowledge of anything you're doing.
Right.
Or you're going to get ripped off.
Right.
Because you're dependent on people too much for everything. I had a restaurant in Miami for the past 10 years. I just shut it down. New Year's, we didn't open New Year's Day. New Year's Eve was our last day in business. And the major problem with it was, because I wasn't hands-on, because I'm not there, I'm paying a management company, they don't really have a real care for the business.
They're not invested.
Not invested in the business. They get their check regardless.
Right.
Regardless of what we do, they're getting their check. So you have to have passion for anything you want to do. I had a passion for sports. I had a passion to want to help guide kids. I worked at the major agencies, and I saw how they didn't really care about the players that looked like us.
Right.
They were just numbers on a spreadsheet about what profit they was going to make. Their careers didn't really matter. So they didn't care if they went broke. all my guys, they have to start doing something business-wise their first 2 years because we got to start planning for life after football. If you played 4 years in football, you had a career, but you're 26 years old. You got to have a life after that. So that's the kind of things I try and impart on my athletes is about really planning ahead for the future.
Right. Do you feel like you're walking in your purpose?
I do feel like I'm walking in my purpose. I do feel like I've let myself and others down in that matter too, though.
Talk about that.
We all full of so much potential, and I look at, have I reached my potential in the business as an agent, my agency? Have I put everything into it that it needed for it to really be successful? And I would say I probably put 10 to 15% effort into the business because the business came easy to me. I was good at it. I made money young in the business, and that probably was the worst thing that ever happened. I had so much success so early on that I stopped working nearly as hard. I started
Got comfortable. Where you were.
I made some money. I started hanging in the streets a lot. Hanging
Strip
out
clubs.
in the strip clubs.
Traveling.
Just living a big life.
Yachts.
Yeah, living a crazy life at a young age. And so you get distracted.
Yeah.
You get distracted. And to really be good at something, you got to be dedicated. I don't care what that job is. You have to be dedicated and show dedication. Hard work and dedication cannot be beat. Talent will not beat hard work and dedication. Talent will lose every time. You can be outworked. So I was talented, but I got outworked by a lot of the people that were in my peer group. So I've had success, great successes. Many people would trade their career with mine in a heartbeat.
Right.
But I know where I could have been
Right.
and where I can go. And so now I've kind of rededicated myself to my craft. The agency's doing well. We're growing, and I feel like I'm gearing up for this last 10-year run.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Ooh, run it up.
I'm into my 10 years already. I'm stopping at 55, so.
You gonna stop at 55?
Yeah, I got to play at 55. I'm going to play again.
Run it up. I'm ready. I think I got one more run in me too.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm glad you meet me in Croatia.
Okay. We had one of them trips in a long time.
It's due.
Yeah, way overdue. But tell us about the name. Tell them about the name of the agency.
It's STL Sports Group, Inc. We are a full-service sports management firm. We represent currently 9 NFL players, and I've been in the business now for 24 will be my 23rd draft. So I've been in the business a long time now, and we're growing.
And you have a heart too for the kids, so that makes a difference. You're not just there for the check.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
I turn down more players than I sign.
What do you see when you decide to take on a client? What is it that you see in them that makes you want to have your name attached to them?
Humility. Humility is the number one thing for me. These kids today are so much different from when I started. And I don't want to get on the grumpy old man type where we banging on this generation, but the level of entitlement now is different. These kids expect things now. They don't want to work for certain things the way kids did when I first got in the business. When I first got in the business, people were ready to put in the work. They were so happy that you were willing to help them achieve their dream. Now it's more of an attitude of
I'm the prize.
What can you do for me? And when I see that real cocky attitude, I already know we're not gonna make it. Cause I don't need you. Like, whether you sign with me or not, my life not gonna change. Like, I'm straight. When you finish in 4 years, I'm gonna still be straight. So
Yeah.
I just don't, and I can't teach you nothing. I want to be able to teach these kids something. I want to be able to really impart some of the knowledge I've learned over the past 24 years and be like, and my best clients are clients with single mothers because they can understand the importance of having a black man as a role model in their kid's life. And a lot of times they'll give you the trust as another black man. It's funny how black women will give you a chance far quicker than black men will.
Really?
Yeah, that's definitely been my experience in this business. Because I feel like black men sort of feel like you start competing with the dad or the uncle or whoever the figure been. Like they start feeling like you competition.
When we not, we family.
Nah, we family.
But
I
know
don't
what?
win if he don't win.
Yeah, right. But you know what they too have to realize too? They probably need to do their homework on you. They need to know there's
Safarrah.
Yeah, and then they need to know there's
Law.
You get what I'm saying? And then they would really understand.
They would.
Yeah.
And it's probably it's better when you're dealing with people you don't know actually. Because that way you get to go in and make your impression. You get to go in and really talk and let them understand your knowledge of the business, your plan for their kid and everything. So I rarely recruit city kids anymore.
Really?
I rarely recruit city kids anymore. And a lot of that's me being jaded, like with the business. You know, you've been doing something so long, you know, you're not going to do anything that's hard.
I told you I got one for you, though, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my homegirl daughter, my little nephew out of Florida. He going, bruh.
I know.
It's probably going to be a longer road for him because Fort Myers is such a small town.
Well, I had a kid. I'm sure they know out of Fort Myers. I represented Mount Cody, Terrence Cody. He was from Fort Myers. Kid that played at Alabama, was a second-round pick. I got him all the way through his career. And his career got derailed over dogs.
I don't know about him.
Yeah, he ended up having a dog that got sick in Baltimore. He took the dog to the vet. The dog was malnourished and hadn't been cared for, and they called
Animal control.
Animal control, and they went to the house. They said the dog had been living in squalor. The dog hadn't been properly been taken care of. He had like some kind of Komodo dragon or something. He had a bunch of pets, and they all, you know. But the kid, really, the dog had ate like a bottle cap and couldn't eat.
Oh,
it was stuck. He couldn't get any food.
It was lodged, yeah.
Lodged, and so he wasn't feeding him. The dog didn't eat, and his only sin was he waited too long to take him to the vet. He got locked up. He got a year in jail. His girl got, I think, 3 months, like 90 days, and the Ravens cut him. His career was over. The Ravens cut him, and his career was over.
Wow, and how do you teach them, too, about the perils? You know what I mean? About the women with the rape and just everything, all those things, like the drugs, the drinking and driving that ends in a car accident, just being in the wrong place, still want to hang around the people that they used to be around.
It's tough because you don't want to preach too much, they tune you out. Mm-hmm. So you try and hit them with pieces here and there, like, hey, we can't get a DUI, you know what I mean? Use Uber, use a driver. NFL has got a program where you can Uber for free almost for NFL clients. So get a driver. Don't put yourself in a situation where these people can take your money and snatch your career. They'll take any instance to pay you less. You want to really maximize, and that's how I try and get it to them. Like, you want to maximize your earnings, and you got to walk the straight line. You got to do things the right way at all times. That don't mean you're not gonna make no mistakes. And when I really try and help them too, it's the whole girl thing, the groupie situation.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
Because
I do. So I'll be like, dude, that ain't it. Listen, have fun, do what you do, but don't make all these kids. Like, these are bill. And I hate to look at a kid as a bill, but that stuff follow you long after your career.
Right.
You got to be able to maintain that going up to 18. You probably ain't paid in 10 years by the time that child 18. And it's siphoning off your earnings. Like, it's expensive because that child support bills can be, I've seen up to $25,000 with each kid. Like, that's prohibitive. Like, even if you're making that kind of money,
it's still
you're not saving. That's money you could be saving, you could be investing, you could be putting into something. So I'm like, until you meet the one and you're in a committed relationship or marriage, don't have kids with anybody. I'm never trying to pick nobody girl because trial and error can be fun sometimes, especially at that age.
Yeah.
And they kids, like they early 20s, like just have fun. Don't take any of it too seriously. But I've had players go to Vegas, get robbed in a hotel of their jewelry with girls. I'm I'm like, bro, you thought you was just that fly?
That she wasn't gonna run the game on you?
Yeah, you was just that fly.
Yeah.
No, you a mark. You was a mark when you got out there. And so, and knowing they're gonna do that regardless, I'm trying to make sure you got your insurance on your jewelry. Well, if you getting robbed, give it to them. Like, we'll get some more.
Yeah,
and
it's not worth your life. Yeah, don't fight for it.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the type stuff. Trying to tell them more preventive stuff than preaching. The preaching don't work with these kids.
Yeah, they don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it.
You're just about to get tuned out. You keep hammering them over the head with stuff, they're not going to listen to you.
I talk to them like they in the streets. That's what I do.
That's how you have to talk
Yeah,
to them.
I talk to them like they're in the streets. Yeah. So what's next? What's next?
Well, what's next for me career-wise? Build an agency. I want to finish off and turn it over. What I'm really currently looking for is a young kid, in law school that I can kind of mold into the business, that's coming out either in business school or law school, that I can kind of teach the business, turn the business over to him, and mentor him in the same way. My issue is finding somebody that can walk the lines like I did, that can kind of be street and, because these kids come from rough backgrounds.
Right.
They want somebody that can, I want somebody that works under me to be able to reach them like I could reach them.
I think they need they need both worlds. Yeah, definitely need both worlds.
That's been a huge asset for me in my life and in my career, is being able to, I can hang anywhere. I can be on any corner and I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? I can be in any boardroom and I'm comfortable. So that's a huge asset, and that's what we got to strive to be. You don't want to be one-dimensional.
Right.
You don't want to be one-dimensional or somebody that can't relate. And you especially don't want to not be able to relate to your own. That's like the worst thing in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I call them, white black men. Like, you're never going to be what you're striving to be. You're never going to be white, so stop acting like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be a refined black man.
Right.
Show these kids how to be polished and how to maneuver in different worlds. That's my hope for the future.
That's a good line. That's a good point, too. Yeah, I got to remember that one. Be a refined black man. You call a black white man something you're never going to be. Yeah, I got to remember that.
Be polished. Live your truth, though.
Yeah. Tell us before we go, give them the name of Junior's organization again.
It's Bridges. Bridges, and the name of my company is STL Sports Group.
And where can we find you? Yeah.
STLSportsGroup.com. On Instagram at STL Sports Group. Oh, wow. I can't even remember the rest of them. That's enough. Those.
And then how can they donate if they want to get information about Bridges or the work you're doing or volunteer or anything? Could they get it through STL? Website? Okay. It's a button for that?
Website. It'll be a button that'll link you to Bridges.
Okay. Now, before you go, this is Break Free Podcast. You have to tell me something that you are in bondage to and you feel like you need to break free from. And he laughs.
What am I in bondage to that I need to break free? Oh, I gotta stop shopping. I spend too much money in the mall. I shop like a broad, like for real. Like they just send me shit and I buy it. Like,
Sean, I don't think you'll like this answer.
Like I gotta stop all that. I don't even wear the clothes. I don't even wear that stuff. I gotta stop shopping.
You gotta stop shopping?
I gotta stop shopping.
Oh, okay, we'll put it on all.
Stop shaving, start saving.
Stop what?
Stop
shaving and start saving?
Stop shopping and start saving.
Start saving. Okay, well, there we have it. Y'all, thank you again for another great episode. Remember, you can go to stlsports.com. Also, there's a button there to click for Bridges if you want to donate, if you want to volunteer, if you need more information, or if you just need to talk to someone who has already walked down the road. Remember, y'all, this is National Autism Month, and let's support those that are dealing with autistic. I am Angela C. Wright, and remember, it's always delusion until they see it happen. Oh, no, I'm Dr. Angela C. Wright. I forgot. See y'all next time. And this episode was brought to you by the Ayers Agency, a full-service marketing firm noted in entertainment and culture.